What we're seeing here in Denver, and as we are going to see in St. Paul, is a microcosm of how this war operates and how this society operates. The corporations are in total control. The corporations are driving the agenda.
It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Good morning, slaves, and welcome to another edition of It's the End of the World as We Know It and I Feel Fine, the show where we kill our heroes. I'm your host, the Stimulator, and yesterday was a super fucking eventful day. The biggest fucking disappointment was Chuck D, a Public Enemy, who apparently gulped a whooping tasty swig of Barack Berry Kool-Aid.
So whatever goes on down in the arenas in Vesco Field tomorrow, we hope that it's just a forward look that in positivity that has got to be better than the last 8 years where the haves have just run rampant over the have-nots and the have-nots have been increasing.
As we reported yesterday, the Poe raided Unconventional Actions Convergence Space. Here's Michael Gonzalez of the band The 911s who was present at the scene.
Well, my band's on tour right now. We have a bus that runs on veggie oil, and we had it in the back when we were working on it, and next thing we know, about over a dozen, let's say maybe 18 riot cops on bikes come up and just kind of start snooping around a bit, and the person who owns the bus actually went out and started to engage in conversation with them, see what they're doing, let them know that, like, you know, this is our bus, if it needs to be moved, it can be moved, and then we totally legally leased this space for the time. The cops came up and just got the bulldozer and just started loading everything into the bucket of the bulldozer, people's personal belongings. I know a tent got taken, all of the paint, the banners, all the poles to hold banners with. Told everybody that they're in the back of the building that it'd be considered trespassing, they'd be subject to arrest.
This all happened while everyone was out at a Rage Against the Machine show. Following the Rage show, the crowd joined the Iraq Veterans Against the War March for 4 fucking miles towards the Pepsi Center. This has been the largest protest at the DNC to date, with over 10,000 showing solidarity.
Yes, we can! Yes, we can! Yes, we can!
Sarah Obama, we're going to remember this. We're going to remember. We appreciate your concern for us, but we're going to remember. Throughout your election, we're going to hold it to you. Yep. If you're not accountable in this, there will be more protests.
Once the vets reached the Freedom Cage, a member of their crew delivered a letter to an Obama lackey, demanding to meet with the candidate. The Obama dude came back and promised that Obama would meet with them and chill motherfuckers out. I would like to remind the vets of what Professor Churchill told us earlier this week.
My first campaign, although I was not in a position to vote age-wise, was around Goldwater. Okay, and I opposed Goldwater because I hung out with an older crew because I was big. I didn't want my friends going to Vietnam for reasons that none of us could understand. Well, we beat Goldwater and we all went to Vietnam.
We're going to march to the gates of the Democratic National Convention, and if we can't get in and the Secret Service doesn't allow us in, we will ask for a delegate to come out, and if the delegate does not come out to accept our letter and accept the symbol of the tri-folded American flag as a token of our grief for the brothers and sisters who have lost their lives in Iraq, we are prepared to risk arrest in order to get our message across.
Today, Denver gets ready for the biggest rock concert in history, and one that will be broadcast live worldwide. Barack and the Democrats promise to hypnotize rabid fans into a new type of reality, with a massive light show, outrageous sets, extra-large high-def video screens, and fireworks. Over in the real world of Baghdad and Kabul, bombs rock the homes of civilians, suspected insurgents are detained and tortured, and the body count rises on a daily. Obama will paint a pretty little picture of the world he envisions, but meanwhile he flip-flops on his positions on Iraq and is aiming his potential military cock at Afghanistan and Iran. Last month, this show broke the censored speech by shock doctoring author Naomi Klein. I think it's about time I bring that shit back out again.
Obama may have the energy and the anger and the networks of the anti-war vote, but he does not have a plan to get us out of Iraq. What he has is a plan to downsize the occupation of Iraq, not to end it. He talks about keeping the green zone intact and calls that ending the war. Let me tell you, you cannot keep the green zone, which is the symbol of the foreign occupation of Iraq, without a massive troop presence that includes the military contractors like Blackwater as well.
Yep, Obama is not only about to become a slave of the military-industrial complex, but also a spokesperson of our failed corporate capitalist state. Here's Jeremy Scahill, Democracy Now! Correspondent and author of Blackwater, The Rise of the World's Largest Private Army.
What we're seeing here in Denver, and as we are going to see in St. Paul, is a microcosm of how this war operates and how this society operates. The corporations are in total control. The corporations are driving the agenda. When it comes to war and political conventions, there is not a Democratic Party and a Republican Party. There's a corporatist party which represents both of those constituencies. And as much as the rhetoric of the Obama campaign is about hope and change, he put the nail in the coffin of any honesty to that statement when he selected Joe Biden as his running mate. Joe Biden is not just one of those Democrats who now turns around and says, oh, I made a mistake in my vote to authorize the war. Some won't even go that far to admit that their vote was a mistake. But for Biden to simply end his involvement with saying, well, it was a mistake and now I'm going to join Barack and we're going to be critical of the war, is to whitewash his entire history in cheerleading this war. You see, Joseph Biden was the chair of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee in 2002. The Democrats were in control of the Senate at the time that the invasion and occupation of Iraq was supposed to be, or supposedly being, debated. Now, Joe Biden refused to call any witnesses to testify at those crucial hearings that he chaired that would say anything outside of the parameters that were defined as such. Bomb the hell out of Iraq or bomb them and invade them. Those were the parameters set by Joseph Biden in the Senate.
And there you have it. As Obama speaks to 70,000 sheeple tonight, Submedia relocates to St. Paul, where part 2 of the spectacle we call democracy continues. Stay tuned to my fucking website, stimulator.tv, for RNC rebellion coverage from the streets of the Twin Cities, where corporate media bootlickers dare not tread. See you next week, suckers.
Remember, kids, you can podcast high-quality video of this show at submedia.tv.